नमस्ते सर्वेभ्यः। अद्वैतचिन्तनवर्गे सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। अपरोक्षानुवर्तते। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम चांद्री भगिनी
आं महोदय।
वदतु।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम् उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तमनमाम्यहम्।
धन्यवाद भगिनी।
धन्यवाद।
So till now we have completed the philosophy part of the Aparoksha Anubhuti, and the last two slokas are there here now, where Acharya is concluding the philosophical part, and then he is giving the rest of the book mainly on the concentration of nididhyasana for the Madhyama Adhikari. So Uttamadhikarinam, the students who are apt and able to understand the philosophy in the first hearing, the philosophy has been explained, and in this particular two slokas he is concluding that with the saying that, for the Madhyama Adhikarina Krute, Nididhyasanam is a method in which even after hearing, so as in the Vedanta philosophy, the three tools which we are forced or we have been asked to use every time is the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Shravanam is hearing what the Shruti or the Shastra says, and on one hearing we may not be in a position to grasp the meaning of it. Then there is a stage called Mananam, where we go through that mentally or discussing with the co-students or brahmacharis or people in the same path, and thereby clarifying it from what we have heard from the Shruti and the Guru. And then the third stage is what is called Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana means Nishchitatmadi. What we have heard from the Shastra or from the Guru, on having understood with clarity after dialogue, discussion, question, prashnam, pariprashnam, all those things, question and answer method, when all doubts are cleared, still it is an information only. When that information will become our own is when the Nididhyasana takes place. Now these are not stages per se. These are all, lucid terminologies which are used, which is overlapping each other. While Shravanam, while the hearing itself, then there will be clarification going on. While clarification is going on, we will be getting more and more established in the knowledge of it. From the information, it becomes our own knowledge. So from this point of view, the Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana are not watertight compartments separating each other. They are a progression in which the seamless process of graduating from one level to another take place by our own inquisitive mind getting clarified about the truth which is being conveyed in the Shruti and the Guru Vakya. And when it becomes, the knowing becomes being, that is when the Aparoksha Anubhuti takes place. Till then, what happens is that it is an information, and information becomes a knowing, where you can say you know the truth, but it has not become your own. Like the becoming like your own is like, it is when, in a very crude example, if I have to say, when you have graduated from college, or whether you have become a parent, that information, when it comes to a knowledge, is an information. But then information, when it becomes convincing and we know that we are passed, because I saw the result on the internet or in the notice board, or I got a certificate from the college, or when I see the child, these are all the places, when we do not have any more doubt. So when the knowledge becomes our own is when it do not have any kashaya. Kashaya means in any dirt in it. The three forms of dirt in any knowledge are samshaya, ajnana, samshaya, viparya. Ajnana is not knowing the knowledge at all. Samshaya is the doubt whether what is being told is right or wrong. We still have an half-hearted attachment towards the knowledge or information when it comes. Or viparya is viparita jnana, or the knowledge which is the text is saying, or the guru is saying, or the situation is giving us. We take the meaning to be not as what it is should be understood, but we take it what our mental capability can assimilate, and it may not be the right knowledge. That it's in the sense of viparya means viparita knowledge or opposite knowledge. When we are told that we are the witness awareness, not the body, we have been told in the earlier slokas that we are seeing our body, which means the subtle body also, mind, intellect, and other aspects of our experiences. All experiences are at the body level, whether it is happiness, sorrow, or memory, or from that level, from the subtle knowledge experience to the gross experience of witnessing, seeing, tasting, touching, and all those things, and what the mind can, convince also. So these things, what happens is that when these can be observed, these are known to us. So for each one of us, this is a object of information. Whether it is happiness or sorrow also, I know happiness. I know I am sorrowful. All those things are, the knowledge is separate, the knower is separate, and the experience is separate. So the experiencer knows the experience. So that way, from that there is a three separatedness: the subject, object, and the link between them. And there is an awareness which is apart from that, Tebhyo Vilakshana Sakshi, which is able to say that I know. There is an I also which is knowing that sorrow or happiness. So there is an I which is also known to me as an I, as an individuality, or the jivatva. Then that jiva, or which is the individuality or the individual ego, not that egoistic, but the ego is to show the individual experience. That is the subject, there is the object, and that act of perception or knowing the object through for the perceiver or the subject, the individual. But this, when it is happening also, I am aware that I am knowing it. Knowing is one aspect, but my awareness of knowing is also there within me. Only this will happen if we develop the Sukshma Buddhi, or the very sharp intellect or sharp awareness, to segregate between the two when we are. But normally what happens is that when this thing comes up, we get into the flow of the happiness or the sorrow or the enjoyment of the or the hardship of the life, and then we forget that we are the subject. These are all objects, and the object is separate from the subject. That segregation and detachment from those happenings do not happen, and we go with the flow of the happiness or the sorrow. But the awareness is always, even then when that is happening also, the awareness is there as a screen behind a movie. Whatever happens in the movie or a painting, there is a canvas behind it. That paint can be of any nature and color. But without the canvas, the paint has no existence of, individual, entity at all. So, same way, the awareness which is there within us is always aware of everything, including I as an observer of my happiness or my sorrow is also in my awareness. So, Depyo Vilakshana Sakshi Chinmatroham Sadashivam, when that mantra of the Upanishad say that, separate from the three states of awareness of Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti, in each of them there is a subject, object and act of connection between them, perception. And that total 9 entities are known to me. When I am a waker, I know that I am in waking state of awareness and I see the world. So I am the waker and I see the world. When I am dreaming, I am seeing the dreams, I am the perceiver of the dream. In the deep sleep, I am there and I am also aware that I am not knowing anything. So that when I wake up, I come back and say that I had a good sleep, I knew nothing. But that changes of these three happening is also known in our awareness. There is one entity, or that is our real nature, which is not involved in any of them, but at the same time, it is the one which is shining on all the three states and all the three of the 9 entities, being aware of the totality. And that is what is the real nature of each of the individual of us. And that is where that shifting of the locus or the shifting of the identity from the I am the body or I am the sorrowful person or I am the happy person or I am the dreamer or the deep sleeper, that from that entity, when we shift to that awareness, when we know that once you experience that, you can always be in that and you will be able to, even when you are in waking, you will be able to be in that. Even when you are in dream, you will be in that. Even when you are in deep sleep also, you will be in that. You know that is the truth. But that all these things can be done only in waking, because it is the only tool with which we can do that is the mind or the intellect. That intellect which is in a logical way, which can analyze, is available only in the waking. That is why we are not able to do any logical things in the deep and in the dream. Dream is a pure experiential level, no memory, no analysis or anything of that. The dream memory is only when it is in a lucid form mixed with Jagrat. So Jagrat is, or the waking itself is the one which is having the knowledge of the hallucination of the dream, not the dreamer per se. It is the mix-up of the two. So the waker who knows that I am dreaming is the one who keeps the memory, not the dreamer when it is in full dream. That's why most of the dreams are not available for us. Only when it is about to wake up, we know what is happening, or we dreamt it, and that when we wake up, we say. And that also, it vanishes over a period of time. We may not remember what we dreamt also 2 days back, 3 days back, unless it has left a deeper memory in the form of a sanskara or a vasana or an impression in the subconscious mind. So from that point of view, all these things are known to an entity who is aware of all these things happening. So that is what the Vedanta is telling us, that knowing that being or shifting into that awareness is that aparoksha. It is the most immediate. The word, even the word used most immediate is oxymoron in the sense that it cannot be more than that when you say immediate. But for the sake of conveying that superlative nature of it, we have to use the words the most immediate experience is the aparokshanubhuti, where aparokshanubhuti means that experience of being the total awareness who knows all the three states and all the three entities in each of the experiences. And once you have known that, there is no way that you can be deprived of that. You will always know that I am that. So whatever happens in our other experiences of waking, dream and deep sleep, whether good or bad, you can detach from that and look as an observer or be in the awareness. This is what is the purpose of Vedanta, is all about, to know what is our truth and to abide in that truth. So having said that, the last two slokas is talking about the Vedanta Matahanam will happen. Vedanta Matahanam means the philosophy of Vedanta itself become null and void if you do not understand till now what has been told. So these are being explained in these two slokas, which has got longer commentary because being the concluding one. Shobha Bhagini, Patati va? Can you read that?
Mhodaya. Uchyate agnirbala. Uchyate agnirbala chet. एक निमिष महोदय. उच्यते अग्निर्बलात् चैतत् तदानर्थद्वयागमः. वेदान्तमतहानञ्च यतो ज्ञानमिति श्रुतिः. पदच्छेदः. उच्यते अग्नैः बलात् एतत् तदा अनर्थद्वयागमः. वेदान्तमतहानं च यतः ज्ञानमिति श्रुतिः. अन्वयः. अग्नैः बलात् एतत् उच्यते तदा च अनर्थद्वयागमः वेदान्तमतहानं भविष्यति यतः ज्ञानं भवति इति श्रुतिः. उक्तवैपरीत्ये बाधकमाह उच्यत इति. एतत् प्रारब्धम् अग्नैः श्रुतितात्पर्य अनभिज्ञैः बलात् अविवेक सामर्थ्यात् चेत्. तत्र महोदय अविवेक सामर्थ्यात् चेत् उच्यते वा?
आम्.
यथार्थतया प्रतिपाद्यते. चकारात् द्वयात्मानं न पश्यन्ति तदा अनर्थद्वयागमो दोषद्वयप्राप्तिः. तत्र प्रारब्धरूपस्य द्वैतस्य अंगीकारे अनिर्मोक्षप्रसंग एको दोषः. मोक्षभावे ज्ञानसम्प्रदायोच्चेत्. तत्र ज्ञानसम्प्रदाय उच्चेत् अरूपः अद्वितीय. किम् अस्ति तत्र महोदय?
ज्ञानसम्प्रदायः उच्चेत् अरूपः
अद्वितीयः. दोष इति न केवलं दोषद्वयस्य एव प्राप्तिः अपितु वेदान्तमतहानं च वेदान्तमतस्य अद्वैतस्य हानं त्यागो भविष्यति. प्रारब्ध ग्रहणरूपस्य द्वैतस्य था अस्ति तत्र किल? याथार्थ्य वा? याथार्थ्यादि इति अर्थः. तर्हि किं प्रतिपत् अव्यं प्रतिपत्तव्यम् इति इत्यत अस्तु इत्यत आह यथा इति यतो यस्याः सकाशात् ज्ञानं भवति तादृशी सा श्रुतिर्गाह्योति गाह्यति वा ग्राह्योति श्रुतिः ग्राह्योति शेषः सा श्रुतिः तु तमेव धीरो विज्ञाय प्रज्ञां कुर्वीत ब्राह्मणः नानुध्याय शब्दान् तत्र द्वहु शब्दान् इति अस्तु वाचे वाचो विग्लापनं हितत् इति एतदभिप्रायः का इति चोल्लिख्यते उल्लिख्यते अस्तु धीरो विवेकी ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मभावितु मिच्छुस्तमेव वेदान्त प्रसिद्धम् आत्मानं विज्ञाय अदा तत्र किमस्ति वदतु महोदय
विज्ञायात् उपदेश आदौ उपदेशात्
अस्तु विज्ञाय आदौ उपदेशतः शास्त्रत च ज्ञात्वा अनन्तरं प्रज्ञां शास्त्र आचार्य उपदिष्ट विषयम् अपरोक्षानुभवपर्यन्तां जिज्ञासा परिसमाप्तिकरी कुर्वीत बहून् कर्मोपासन अप्रतिपादका च I'm having to move the screen because of the size today. शब्दान वाक्य संदर्भ इति मन्ये तत्र वाक्य संदर्भान् अनुध्यायान् अचिन्तयेत् तर्हि तान् ब्रूयात् किं न इति आह वाचा इति तद्वैतशास्त्रपठनं तद्वैतशास्त्रपठनं वाचो विज्ञापनं विशेषण श्रमकरं हि इति सर्व अनुभव सिद्धम् इति अलं प्लवितेन तत्र महोदय एकं we read it twice क्षमतां विज्ञापनम् इत्युक्ते
blubbering.
Okay अपि च this one also at the end same अस्तु धन्यवादः महोदय.
So in this shloka what it says uchyate atmai balat etat tada anartha dvayagamaha vedanta matahanam cha yatah jnanam iti shruti. So atmai balat, suppose those who have not understood till now what has been told, etat uchyate tada cha anarthagamaha, so with it etat means prarabdham if they are taking that, because we have refuted in our previous sloka, prarabdham is not a reality which exists after the Jivan Mukti or the jnana, the proper jnana comes in our understanding. Because we don't identify with the Deha itself. So there is no, when the Deha eva is not what we are. So along with the Deha, all the other, along with the body, all the other aspects related to the body, including prarabdha or the three sanchidagami prarabdha, all the things is like a dream. It do not exist anymore. Suppose if, because ignorance, this is a very famous thing which is we are hearing every time. No, Jnani, even after having realized, he is suffering because of the prarabdha karma, his body is suffering. Now Shankaracharya is very clear about it, and even Chinmayananji, when he told about it in these examples which I have told earlier also. The moment the body identification is known, the prarabdha is only of the body. So how do we say that Jnani, even after having realized that what he is going through is prarabdha, he doesn't see, this is the first person experience and the third party experience explanation. From the point of view of the Jnani, the Deha itself is not real. It is in my awareness. These are all states of instruments for the body to, for the awareness to experience or the entity or the dream. If you can say that if dream body do not affect you, when the Jagrat becomes Swapnavat, not like Swapnam, it doesn't become dream, but like dream, Swapnavat. So when you deny the Swapna and the effect of the Swapna or what the body went through the Swapna, whether it is the fear, hunger, or everything in that, all from the waking state of point of view, the dream and the dream body, everything is mithya or maya or ajnana or ignorance or delusion. From the moment you shift and understand your true nature, even Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, all of them become Swapnavat. It is no more, you are no more identifying with that three changes which is happening in, and for the awareness doesn't go through the changes. Awareness knows the changes. So what is known is different from the knower. Therefore, these things are of the body, who I am not. So if my car gets an accident, I am not getting affected by the accident. But if I identify with my ownership and it is my car, and then I get into the problems of suffering of, my car, I have to send money, all those related things. It is just an instrument which you have been using. Some instruments where you don't have identification, you are ready to throw it. When you purchase a new dress, you didn't purchase a new dress, just the dress alone. You purchased it along with the beautiful packing and everything you get. But when you are unpacking it, you are not giving any value for the packing of the dress. So you are ready to trash it and put it in the garbage bin. But you are not able to do that with the dress. But when you paid the price, don't we understand that we are paid for not only for the dress, the cost is inclusive of the packing and everything. But do we store the packing? No, we don't do it. Because we give value to the dress, but no value for the packing. If we can do that in this small simple exercise, we should be able to do the same thing for everything in our life. Right from our mind, and the feelings in the mind is an object of, I am the awareness in which this mind is feeling the happiness and sorrow, or the body is going through the pain and the suffering, or the body ownership on a car. If an accident happens, that it is the car which is getting affected, the body is not getting affected. So it's all relative in nature. The more the identification takes place of the ego, the jiva, into any of those levels, the more will be the suffering in the world. So the way in which we can get moksha or the freedom from the suffering or the, clutches of life and life's effect on us is only to know our true nature and detach our Instruments which are like mind, intellect, body, and related to body, related to everything, as only as instruments, then we are no more affected by what is happening to them. When cancer or something attacks the body, the person who knows it's a cancer is ready to get an amputation or a removal of that part of the body, which till before the infection of the disease, it was so dear to him. Any pinprick or a scratch or any bleeding comes, he was so afraid and so much used to be worried. But the same person is ready to ampute his leg or any part of the body if he knows that it is going to damage him more. So, but at Vedanta we are telling, when you identify these things are relate to you in nature, you are able to relate, you are ready to discard the house if it is going to collapse. You are ready to discard even a child who is no more going as per your desires. He is becoming a thief or a murderer or a unwanted type of behavior. You are ready to disown the son or a daughter. You are even ready to divorce if you are not the spouse is not matching. From every point you are in the position to detach everything from life, right from your mind onwards to everything. But that ego which is attached to the mind, and the ego is the last one to get detached, is very, very difficult. That can happen only if the knowledge that even the ego and the mind are instruments only for the awareness, then only you can bring the detachment. So what that Shastra says is that if by forcing that, the jnani is having prarabdha, that is why he is suffering, then you are bringing back what has been already negated by the knowledge that it is part of the body. In such a case, what happens is anartha dvayagamaha. Anartha dvaya means, anartha means mishap. Dvayagama means then duality. The jnani is a jnani and jnani has a prarabdha. There is a duality of that. How can duality exist? Jnanam also can exist and the ajnana prarabdham also exists. Then what happens is Vedanta Madahanam Bhavishyati. That then whatever Vedanta or the scripture has taught till now becomes null and void. Yataha jnanam bhavati Shruti. When only that jnanam happens, then only that moment when jnanam happens, the anartham is over. There is no Vedanta Madahani. But if ajnanat balat, if because of the ignorance, if you are still holding on to prarabdha of a jnani, then both this duality will happen and Vedanta philosophy will go through. I'll go through this explanation. Ukta viparitya bhadagamaha uchyate iti edat prarabdha ajnai. So what I told you, the ajnai, the ignorant people, prarabdham, bhadagamaha is affecting the body. So Shrutya Tatparyam Ajnabahi Balat Aviveka Samarthyat Ched Uchyate Yata Arthataya Pradipadyate Cha Kara Dvayatmanam na Pachyanti. Dvayatmanam na Pachyanti. So once when what the Ajnana, the ignorant people says by forcefully that Aviveka Samarthyat, by just holding on to that ignorant aspect of that, prarabdha is real because body is going through this thing. Anarthataya, big by the mishap or by the damage, pradipadyate, uchyate, dvayatmanam na pashyati. They do not see that they are doing a damage by creating two atmas. The jnani is body and that prarabdha body. So both prarabdha cannot exist in jnana avastha. So moksha bhave. So pashyati tata anartha dvayagamaha. Dosha dvaya prapti. There are two types of dosha which can happen is tatra prarabdha rupasya dvaita angikare anirmoksha prasangaha. If you accept prarabdha, then dvaita angikara will happen. Then you have to accept dvaita, and which will lead to animoksha prasanga, means moksha is not more a attainable thing, because as long as the body is there and prarabdha is there, then you are not a moksha. So how can you call it as a jivan mukta? He is no more a jivan mukta anymore. That is ekadosha. And moksha bhave jnana sampradaya uchcheda rupa dvitiya dosha. In the absence of jnana, jnana sampradaya uchcheda rupa. The entire tradition of jnana sampradaya of the Shruti, the Guru and teaching becomes null and void. There is no point in going through all those things, because even after knowledge you have to still suffer through the prarabdha. Why the hell should we study the Shastras and listen to the Guru and still go through the prarabdha? Anyway, only if death is the giving ultimate moksha, then what Charvaka says is right. The materialist is who is saying that, everything is the body, then just enjoy, eat, live and enjoy. When the body lies, you will be automatically free from all these things. That is their philosophy. So here the Shastra Sampradaya Uchcheda Rupa Dvitiya Dosha Bhavati. Na kevalam doshadvayasya eva praptihi apitu Vedanta matahanam cha Vedanta matasya advaitasya hanam tyagaha bhavishyati. So not only that there are Dvaita, also the entire philosophy of Vedanta, which has been told by the Shruti and Advaya, Dvaita Matam, becomes null and void, and therefore you have to abandon that. Prarabdha grahana rupasya dvaitasya yadarthyat ityartha tarhi kim pratipattavyami ityataha aha yata iti yato yasya sakashat jnanam bhavasi tadrishi sa shruti grihyate esha sa shrutistu tameva dhiro vijnaya prajnam gurvida brahmana nanudhyayo dvahachan shabdan vacho viglapanam hi tat. So iti etat abhiprayaha. So what happens here is that if you are prarabdha grahana, if you are doing that, then what happens is that Sakasat jnanam bhavati tadrishi sastuti pradrasyate shesha. So even the Shruti statement which is saying that, adhiraha vijnaya pratyam kurvida brahmana, that tameva dhiro vijnaya, tameva dhiraha, knowing that Atman or that dhiraha, vijnaya, knowing that pratyam kurvida brahmana, he becomes abided in the truth. Na anudhyaya dvahun shabdan, bahun shabdan. By if you are sticking to the multiple words which is told and still sticking to the words of that vaja viglapanam hi tat, then it becomes a jugglery of words, but nothing. That entire Shruti becomes what is called Shastra Ananta Shabda Vacharambanam, because not that word. Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karanam. What Shankara himself says. It becomes only a big forest of words, the entire Shruti which has been telling that Brahma, Atma, Ikyam, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. All those things becomes a big forest of words, and Vacha Viglapanam Bhavati. It is just a, blabbery where the words do not make any sense because there is no effect. You listen to that and there is no effect going to happen. Your prarabdha is still convinced about prarabdha existing. Then the Shastra itself becomes invalid. Hi edat avipraya ka iti ullekite dhiro viveki brahmana brahma bhavitum ichuhu tameva Vedanta prasiddham atmanha vijnaya adau upadeshata shastrastata jnaptva anantaram prajnam shastracharya upideshta vishayam aparokshanubhava paryantam jijnasa aparisamaptikari kurvidha. So that dhiraha, that viveki brahmana, that intelligent brahmana who follows Brahma bhavidum ichu, who he want to be in that Brahma avastha or that in this knowledge, tameva Vedanta prasiddham atmana, he himself, he alone, Vedanta Prasiddham Atmanam, that glorified by the Vedanta, Atma Vijnaya, by knowing that Atma, Adau Upadeshataha, then based on the instruction, Shastra Sat Jnatva, after having understood what the Shastra has said, Anantaram Prajnam, after knowing the Shastra, Anantaram Prajnam, then abiding in the Prajna or the awareness, which type of Shastracharya Upadishta Vishayam Aparokshanubhava Paryantam. That Shastra and Acharya Upadishta Vishayan Anusrutya Aparokshanubhava Paryantam. That immediate knowing of that awareness through the words of the Shastra and Acharya, by the topic which have been taught in by them, Jitnyasa aparisamaptikari kurvida bhun. Then till that Jitnyasa, that Jnatum Ichha, the eagerness to know subsides only when the Aparokshanubhava Paryantam, only when the Aparokshanubhava takes place. Karmopasana pratipatakan cha shabdan vakya sandarbhan na anudyayet na achintayet. So they do not, once that jitnyasa is quenched in that seeker, that jitnyasa means to the eagerness to know, when it gets subsided by the immediate experience of that Atma, then karma, upasana, all those things which have been explained in the beginning before the Vedanta texts are being taught, Shastra Upadesha, that he is doing, taking this. So what happens is that he is no more going to be in the karma upasana pratipada once the knowledge comes in. Vakya sandarbha the anudhyayet na achintayet tarhi tan bruyat kim na iti aha vacha iti tadveda shastra padanam vaja viglapanam visheshana sramakaram iti sarvanubhava siddham iti alamplavi tena. So if that doesn't happen, that knowledge doesn't happen, then Dvaita Shastra Padanam, which is what is nothing but a Vaja Viklapanam, Visheshana Sramakaram, and it is what that Mimamsa part, that Purva Mimamsa part becomes Sramakaram, and Sarvanubhava Siddham. That is a common experience for everyone, because only the knowledge, the Jitnyasu who follows the Shastra, Vedanta Shastra, after following the Shastra Acharya Upadishta, only he gets the Aparokshanubhavam. For rest, Sarvanubhava Siddham iti. That Mimamsa, Sravanam, Vacha, Viklapanam, Dvaita Shastra Patanam, Vishesha Sramagaram, all those things are what is their normal life. This is what is this sloka is talking about. And this is the 100th sloka of the book, which Lalita Bhagini Padativa. Can you read?
Yeah, I'll read in between. If the connection goes, just
yeah, I'll try. Don't worry.
Yes. Yeah. You can hear me, no? Okay.
Yeah, you can hear me.
त्रिपञ्चाङ्गान्यतो वक्ष्ये पूर्वोक्तस्य हि लब्धये तैश्च सर्वैः सदा कार्यं निदिध्यासनमेव तु. पदच्छेदः त्रिपञ्चाङ्गो अन्यतः वक्ष्ये पूर्वोक्तस्य हि लब्धये तैः च सर्वैः सदा कार्यं निदिध्यासनम् एव तु. अन्वयः अतः पूर्वोक्तस्य हि लब्धये त्रिपञ्चाङ्गोऽन्य वक्ष्ये तैः च सर्वैः एव तु निदिध्यासनं सदा कार्यम्. तदेवमेतावता ग्रन्थसन्दर्भेण मुख्याधिकारिणो वैराग्यादि साधनचतुष्टयपूर्वकं वेदान्तवाक्यविचार एव
प्रत्यग अभिन्न
ब्रह्मापरोक्ष ज्ञानद्वारा ब्रह्मापरोक्ष ज्ञानद्वारा मुख्यं मोक्षकारणम् इत्यभिहितम् इदानीम् असकृत् विचार्यापि बुद्धिमान्द्य विषयासक्त्यादि प्रतिबन्धना परोक्षज्ञानं यस्य न जायते तस्य मंदाधिकारिणौ निर्गुण ब्रह्मोपासनमेव मुख्यं साधनमिति अभिप्रेत्य स साधनं ध्यानयोगं प्रतिजानत आचार्याः त्रिपञ्चेति अतो शब्दो अधिकारी भेदार्थः क्वचिदत इति पाठस्तस्मिन् पक्षे यतो मंदाधिकारी विचारं न लभते असो हेतोरि इत्यर्थः त्रिपञ्च त्रिगुणितानि पञ्चदशेत्यर्थः तत्संख्याकानि अङ्गानि निदिध्यासनाङ्गी साधक साधन विशेषान् यज्ञ साधक प्रयाजादिवदित्यर्थः वक्ष्यामि तैः वक्ष्यमाणोः सर्वैरङ्गे निदिध्यासनमेव कार्यं न तु तूष्णीम् अवस्थानम् उचितम् इत्यर्थः निदिध्यासन कर्तव्य प्रतिज्ञा प्रयोजनमाह पूर्वोक्तस्य स्वरूपावस्थान लक्षणमोक्षस्य सिद्धय इति हि इति वेदांत प्रसिद्धो तु शब्दः पातंजल वैलक्षण्यलक्षणेन मोक्षस्य सिद्धय इति अनेनाष्टांग प्रतिपादकं पातंजलिना इति अवैदिकत्वाद् वैशेषिकादि वदनाद् इयमिति ध्वनितम्। धन्यवादः।
त्रिपञ्चोऽङ्गान्यतः वक्ष्ये पूर्वोक्तस्य हे लब्धये तैः च सर्वैः सदा कार्यं निदिध्यासनम् एव तु। Now, having told in that previous shloka or previous verse, for the ignorant who have not been able to understand the Vedanta Rahasyam and have not been able to understand the Aparoksha Jnanam, Aparoksha Anubhavam, for the sake of them, Acharya here, he is introducing the Nididhyasana Sadakari. And in the terminology of Shankaracharya here in this book, he is using Tripanchanga, means 3 into 5, 15 steps are used. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Ashtanga Yoga, we know only about 8 of them. But here he is saying there are 15 steps, 3 into 15 steps for the proper Nididhyasanam. So that is what he is explaining here. Ataha Purvoktyasya hi labdaye Tripanjango Anyaha Aham Vakshe. I am going to tell Aham Vakshe, I am telling the Tripanjanga Anyaha. So Tripanjangani. So 15 for the Atha Purvoktasya hi labdaye. So Purvokta means Atnehi Balat. He has told in the previous sloka. For the Atneihi, for those who have not been able to have their Aparokshanubhuti, knowledge from the Shastra, Vedanta, Mata, Rahasya, Dwara, from understanding what the Advaita has been teaching till now, I am here going to explain the 15-stepped Nididhyasana Sadakaryam. How do Sadakaryam means it is a way of life. It is not that it is an act of meditation like how the Patanjali says, where you have to do a momentary act of yoga, sitting and for meditation and all. But this is Sadakaryam means you have to live through that. Sarva etaitu. So what we will see that tat evam evata etavata grantha sandarbena mukhya adhikarina vairagyadi sadhana chatushtaya purvakam vedanta vakya vichara eva pratyagabhinna brahma aparoksha jnana dwara mukhyam moksha karanam iti. Now for the mukhya adhikarina, for the aspirant who is still serious of the following, what has been told in the Grantha or Grantha Sandarbena, what through the previous slokas or the verses, what has been taught, for the Mukhya Adhikari, Vairagyadi Sadhana Chatushtaya Purvakam Vedanta Vakya Vichara Eva Pratyagabhinna Brahma. In the Pratyagabhinna Brahma, Aparoksha Jnana, for the purpose of Aparoksha Jnana, Vedanta Vakya Vichara Purvakam. So, Sadhana Chatushtaya Purvakam. Even before the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha Eva Vichara Karniya. Only who has got the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti will be able to do Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka Vichara through the Vairagya, and say that this is a Sadhana Chatushtayam. So, Pratyag Abhinna Brahma Aparoksha Jnana Dwara Mukhya Moksha Karanam. So, knowing that, the Aparoksha Jnana or the immediate experience of that Brahma is the Moksha Karanam. Iti Abhihitam Idanim Asakrit Vicharya Api Buddhimandyam Vishayasakti Adi Pradibandhana Aparoksha Jnanam Yasya Na Jayade Tasya Mandadikarinaha. Now he is talking about here is that the mediocre aspirants. Who are they? Asakrit Vicharya Api Buddhimandyam. Even though he is also following the text and he has been asked to find out what is permanent, what is impermanent, Nitya, Nitya Vastu Viveka, all those things are. But because of the Vishaya Sakti, Adi, Pradibandhana Paroksha Jnana, and Vishaya Sakti, the attachment to the objects or the difficulty in to detach himself from the entanglement of the sense objects, evam buddhimandyam, and is also not able to logically follow what the Shruti is telling. That's all called pradibandha, means what is called the obstacles for aparoksha jnanam. Yasya na jayate tasya mantyadhikarana, for that mantyadhikarana, nirguna brahma upasanam eva mukhya sadhanam iti. For such mediocre aspirant, Nirguna Brahma Upasanam. How to do meditation on Nirguna Brahma, and that is the Mukhya Sadhana, that is the main tool or main methodology. Iti is that Abhipretya Sadhanam Dhyana Yogam Pradijanataha Acharya Tripancha iti Atha Shabda Adhikari Vedarthaha Kvachit Ataha iti. Now here, Abhipretya Sasadhanam, Dhyana Yogam Prajijanataha. So Acharya here is giving the Dhyana Yoga to understand that for Abhipretya Sasadhanam, to attain that same Aparoksha Jnanam, he is Tripancha iti Atha Shabda Adhikari Vedartha. Tripancha is giving a 15-fold Nirguna Brahma Upasana method in the coming slokas. Kvachit ata iti pataha tasmin pakshe yataha mandadhikari vicharam na labate ataha hetoho ityartaha. In case the Mandadikari Vicharam na labhate, if he is not able to do the intellectual analysis and follow the Vedanta Shastra Nirdesha, Vedanta, what has been instructed through the Advaita Shastras, for them, that Triguna, Tripancha Trigunadina Pancha Panchadesha Ityartha. So, the 15 fold, the 555, 3 15s, 3 5s are 15th methodology is being told. Tat Sankyatani Angani Nididhyasana Angi. So that numbers which are there in the 15 for the Nididhyasana Angi means in the steps. Angi here is steps. Nididhyasana, for the Nididhyasana, Sadhaka Sadhana Visheshan Yajna Sadhaka Prayajativat. So he is giving an example from the Mimamsaka. For the Sorga Kamo Yajeta in the main Vidhi of Mimamsaka, that were those who are desirous of the Sorga, they have in that same Veda Mimamsaka, they are saying that such a person should do Angi Upasana also. There are 3 sub yajnas which he has to do to qualify himself for the Surga Kamo Yajita, for the final Surga Yagam, to do for that in the Mimamsaka. So Vidyaranya is a very famous Mimamsaka. So he is referring to that for the purpose of his own students who are also Mimamsakas. In the similar way, here Shankaracharya is giving Tripancha means, so three pancha means 15 steps. Like that, 3 steps becomes an Angi for the Swarga Kama. Here these 15 steps becomes the Angi for the Nididhyasana. Vakshami taihi, Vakshamanaihi, Sarvai Rangai Nididhyasanam Eka Karyam Natu Tushnim Avasthanam Ichate Ityartaha. Because you didn't understand the import of the Advaita Shastra as explained in the previous slokas, and you have not been able to have the Aparoksha Bhava, Avaraksha Anubhuti, then you are not, Natu Sushnim Avasthanam Ujitam. Then, sitting quiet and doing nothing is the best method, is not the way in which you think. Sarvair Angaihi Nididhyasanam Ekakaryam. For such people, Acharya is Vakshami is saying that this 15-stepped Nididhyasanam Eva Karyam. That is the only method in which you have to follow and reach the same destination which has been told by the Vedanta Vakya. Nididhyasana Kartavya Pradijana Prayojanam Aha Purvokta Iti Purvoktasya Swarupa Avasthana Lakshana Mokshasya Siddhaye Iti. Now, in the event that he is not able to follow the Shastra Vakya, Nididhyasanam Kartavya, he should do the Nididhyasanam of the 15-fold. Pratijnaya Yojanam. Pratijna Prayojanam. See, this is the benefit of the declaration by Acharya. Purvoktasya Swarupa Avasthana Lakshana Mokshasya. Purvoktasya means, in the previous slokas, whatever has been told, were Swarupa Avasthana Lakshana Moksha. Swarupa Avasthana is the Lakshanam for the Moksha. That is Swarupa Avasthiti. That has been explained very clearly till now, that what the slokas are. So that will be the prayojanam for the Nididhyasanam, for those who are doing the Nirgunopasana Nididhyasanam iti pratijñapayate ve acharyena. So the Shankara is giving the declaration and vouching by that the same will be the result of the people who are also doing the following of the Nididhyasana of the 15-fold. Siddhaya iti. Iti Vedanta Prasiddha Tat Shuddha Patanjala Vailakshanya Lakshanena Mokshasya Siddhaye iti Anena Ashtanga Pradipatakam Patanjalam Avaidigat Vaisheshikadi Vadanat Ayam Idi Dvanitam. Now, in this one, he is deviating from the Vailakshanyam, is from the Patanjali's Ashtanga Pratipādakam. Why? He, Shankara says, it is Avaidigatvat. It is not as per the Shruti method. Shruti is giving the instruction, and Patanjali's instructions are not Avaidigam. It is more of a mental level, not going beyond the mind. And Avaisheshika Adi Vadanat. Vaisheshika Adi Vadanat. In the Vaisheshika logic, Vaisheshika here doesn't mean the Vaisheshika Matam. So, in the logical explanations which is explained in the Patanjali also is Avaidigam. Evam iti Dvanitam. That is being reflected, or that is being spelled here. This is what these two slokas are talking about. From the next sloka till the end of the book, the entire 15 steps in detail are explained, how one can do Nirgunopasana, and that is a Nididhyasana method. It is inclusive of the Patanjali's 8 Ashtanga Yoga, but he is also has adding another 7 more steps from the Jnana Marga. So it is a Jnana Yoga Samuchayam, which is being to be seen. That is the mutual, the merging of the knowledge process, including with the meditation process. That meditation through the act of knowledge, not the meditation by the control of pranayama, etc., but it is in more of the knowledge method which is being discussed in the next remaining slokas, which we will see it in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Any questions?
Yes, I have one.
Yes, Patrick.
Maybe two.
No issues. Can be many.
How does one know the difference between maybe the deeper levels of mind and witness? How does one distinguish or know which is which?
See, if you are able to see, this is Shastra, Vedanta has got two methodology. What it's saying is that one is Shravana Samakala, means immediately when you hear it, it shines you like, that is it. That experience comes for when your mind is totally focused and you are understanding the logic along with which the Shruti or the Acharya is explaining you the methodology in which, the different processes and examples which is given. For example, in the Chandogya, the Tattvamasi, that word one is in it, that you are that which everything is being made, you are part of that. That statement, when you heard, for a apt student like Nachiketa or Shuka Brahmasi, there is no more requirement of repetition of that word. Instantly he knows that, this is what it is. I am that. I am not the body, which I thought is I am the body, including the mind and everything. That is one way. So, Shravana Samakale. For those who are not apt for that, the Uttama Adhikari, which is called the most suited Adhikari, for them, the explanations in the Upanishad, when that, the example in the Chandogya again, suppose if the different objects made out of gold is in reality gold only, but the difference is only in the name and the form. Same way, the entire experiences of objects including the subject, which is an object inside the world of experiences, is made from the same substance with which everything is coming out. Now, what is that? In the Upanishad says that Yatova imani bhutani jayante eta jatani jivanti yat pravitya vishamvishanti tadeva brahma. Now he is explaining what is Brahma, with which everything is coming out. It is from which everything comes up, in which everything exists, and when the name and form goes into where it goes back into it, is that is what is Brahma. Like the wave, when it comes out from water. It exists as an ocean, as a wave separately, apart from the ocean, even though it is not separate from ocean all the time. The name and form of the wave appears as long as the experience is there of the wave. And when the wave goes back, it loses its name and form. But all through the three states, when it is coming up, when it's existing, and after when it goes down back into the thing, all the three times it was in that water as the reality only. Temporarily, the name of the wave came up and it dissolved into it. Same way, all these experiences which we are having in the world is coming out of the awareness. It is not the awareness of the mind. Please understand that. This is where we will make a mistake. It is the awareness of the witness which is aware of even the awareness of the mind. From that, the awareness comes, or the awareness of the object and the subject and the perception or the act of experiencing comes up. And as long as that separation is duality is experienced, there is a subject, object, and experience. When all the three goes down from the experience level or separate experience level, it remains. There is no more experiencer, nor more object of experience, no more experiencing, which is a glimpse which we get in the deep sleep. That is also a state only. But even the waking, dream and deep sleep also comes and goes for the awareness in totality. When you know that that is the truth, tad tvamasi, when that is told to Shvetaketu, you are that Brahma from which all the whole world is coming out in the form of object and subject and experiences. And when the whole thing goes back, you are back into the pure awareness where there is no duality. There is nothing more to experience or subject or experience or object of experience. When the 3 or into 9 experiences merge back into that from which it came, that is your nature, tadattvamasi. When this is being told to an apt student, it doesn't take time. For a super student, he may have to be given different experiences, different explanations, different methodologies, and that is why the multiple Upanishads are there. And even after this, if there is no way that somebody can understand, that is this sloka, last sloka which Shankaracharya mentions, that the 15 method of Nirguna Upasana for Nididhyasanam will definitely take you to that step, because that methodology is again purifying your mind, which has got the 3 dirts in it, like ignorance and doubt and misconception. All the 3, when it is removed, the knowledge has to shine itself. When all the covering is removed or the dirt is removed, the mirror becomes full for reflection. That way, the mind, the knowledge aware happens. This is the only method in which the Shastra explains it.
Would someone like Ramana Maharishi, was he when he spoke, he wasn't speaking from the witness? No, good. And so everything in the transactional world, including his
Yes.
presence, his body, mind, his words
But
was part of.
even when that is happening, when he is transactional world, he is transacting.
Yeah.
He is aware of his nature of trueness. Like when we interact in the world, we never forget we are a human being. We don't have to remember every time we are a human being when we interact in the world. It is our nature to, the physical nature which we are today assuming that I am the body, I am a human body, human is the name given to the body. But I know I am not the body. But when the transaction is taking, I know that I am the body of a human being, so I will do what the human beings are supposed to do, right? Same way, when he is talking from that level, he comes down to the level of the transaction, he interacts everything, but that doesn't take him to forget what is his real nature. That can never be forgotten.
And Aparoksha is Adi Shankara's signature works in the method to be established in the self.
Yes. Aparokshanubhuti and Upadesha Sahasrari. There are two books which are very similar in nature, and it goes in the same philosophical methodology of the Upanishads. Whereas all other textbooks, there is a what you call concession given for bhakti or meditation or other methodologies for people who are not able to understand the pure knowledge aspect. For the benefit of such people, the concession given by the acharyas, whether whoever has written it, has given concession for the other aspects of the mind and the intellect, like meditation, nirguna upasana, or bhakti marga, or yoga, or even karma marga.
Thank you.
Shobha Bhagini, Lilita Bhagini, Chandri Bhagini.
No, Mudaya.
No,
Thank you.
Madhya. Thank you.
Okay. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಮहोदय. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರः.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.